Welcome, gentlemen. Have you ever had the sense that you were made differently right from the start? Not in a flashy or obvious way, but in the way your mind operates. In the way your spirit quietly refuses to settle for the same things everyone else seems to chase. If that resonates with you, what I'm about to share may explain why. Some men are simply not designed to walk the common road. They don't wait for someone to give them the green light. They don't move in step with the crowd because something deep within tells them to follow a rhythm of their own. These are Sigma males, and what separates them from the rest is not something you can fake, imitate, or force into existence. It's something woven into their being from the very beginning, something you can't teach, something you can't buy, something most people will never fully understand. The gifts given to these rare men aren't about wealth or public recognition. They're far more valuable and far more demanding. A mind sharp enough to see beyond the surface, a spirit steady when the ground beneath is shaking, and a hunger for truth that refuses to settle for shallow answers. They're built to carry more weight, to walk alone when necessary, to work quietly and let their results speak without explanation. If you've ever felt that your silence says more than your words, if you've ever found an unusual sense of calm in being misunderstood, that's not a flaw. That's a sign. You were never meant to blend in. Before we go deeper, tell me this in the comments. Where in the world are you watching from right now? And what time is it for you? I want to know which part of the planet the quiet ones are tuning in from. And while you're at it, answer this. When in your life did you first realize you weren't like the rest? You were meant to stand apart and rise anyway. And that is something only the rarest men are entrusted with. 1. The eyes to spot what will break before it breaks. There's something uncommon about the man who notices the cracks before anyone else even sees a scratch. Sigma males possess this gift. Not from paranoia, but from an instinct honed over time. While most people are distracted by the surface, they study the structure beneath. They ask the questions others wouldn't even think to ask. Imagine stepping into a stunning house. Fresh paint, polished floors, flawless decor. Everyone else admires the furniture, but the Sigma notices the faint creak in the floorboards or the subtle hum inside the walls. He senses the unseen problem before it turns into a collapse. The same skill shows up in relationships. Maybe it's the friend whose laughter feels just a little too forced, or the partner whose compliments sound rehearsed. Most people would smile and carry on, but the Sigma quietly takes note. He watches. He listens. He connects the dots. And when things eventually fall apart, others are blindsided, while he already saw it coming. This gift can feel heavy. It means recognizing betrayal before it happens, seeing through the gloss of someone's polished words, and walking away while others still believe the illusion. That can make them seem cold, but it's not coldness. It's survival. In a world obsessed with noise, they move with quiet insight, while others are still reacting. Sigma males have already shifted course and begun building elsewhere. They never wait for the foundation to give way. They've already moved on. That's not luck. That's instinct, sharpened by solitude. 2. The energy that drains the fake. Have you ever noticed how some people grow uneasy around someone who refuses to play the usual social games? That's the Sigma effect. They don't set out to be intimidating. They don't need to act cold. They simply show up real. And in a world of masks, that can be unsettling. Sigma males won't fake a laugh to blend in. They won't flatter for the sake of keeping the peace. They speak when they have something worth saying. They ask direct, honest questions, and they give equally honest answers. Picture someone entering a room without needing to be the center of attention. They simply sit, observe, and let people reveal themselves. For those who rely on constant approval, that kind of presence feels like sunlight hitting them after hours under artificial light. It changes how everything looks. The Sigma's energy makes manipulation harder. Empty compliments bounce off. Guilt trips fail. Emotional tricks don't stick. And that unsettles people who depend on performance to be accepted. The Sigma doesn't call them out. He simply refuses to participate. 3. A soul that doesn't beg, it builds. You can always spot a man who doesn't wait for approval, who doesn't seek permission, and who never begs to be told he's enough. That's the quiet but unshakable power of the Sigma. His soul builds, never begs. Where others wait to be noticed, Sigma males are already creating. They don't ask for a lane, they carve one. In school, while classmates waited to be assigned to a group project, they were already halfway through their own. In the workplace, while colleagues chase praise, they quietly solve the real problems. If something needs doing, they begin. If they have a vision, they move. They don't wait for applause, and they don't need a crowd's validation to feel alive. Even in love, they don't demand affection. They grow, they improve, and they keep building themselves, knowing that those who truly see them will either be drawn in or drift away. This is what separates them. Their strength isn't built on charm or popularity. It's forged in discipline, in the ability to keep showing up even when no one is clapping. 4. A radar for hidden agendas. Most people hear what's said. Sigma males hear what isn't. They don't need a detailed explanation to know when something's off. It's an instinctive pull in their gut when the words and the truth don't match. Years of silence and observation have sharpened this radar. They've learned to spot the difference between genuine trust and a performance. In a room full of smiles and polite conversation, they'll notice the half-second delay before someone meets your eyes, or the compliment that lands just slightly hollow. This isn't guesswork. It's a skill born from watching the patterns, studying how actions align or fail to align with words. And when they feel that mismatch, they trust it. Always. That kind of insight isn't built in a single moment. It's formed over years, shaped by subtle experiences that most people overlook or dismiss. Sigma males might not always speak on what they notice, but they never fail to register it. If a business partner starts making grand promises while conveniently sidestepping plain truths, the Sigma male feels it immediately. If a friend suddenly turns overly generous without reason, he won't simply accept it with a smile. He'll pause. He'll watch. He'll wait. This quiet vigilance protects them from traps that others walk straight into, not because they claim superior intelligence, but because they value observation over performance. Their mind isn't weighed down by a constant need for approval. It's free to read what's actually happening beneath the surface. People who operate with hidden agendas often feel uneasy in their presence. Eventually, the mask slips. And when it does, the Sigma male won't confront you in a battle of words. He'll simply walk away. The moment his internal radar goes off, he doesn't second guess it. He trusts it completely. Number 5. The ability to detach without becoming bitter. Letting go is easy to say, but incredibly hard to do without carrying the weight of resentment. Many people can't release something without clinging to the hurt, replaying the past, or shutting down emotionally as a form of self-defense. Sigma males, however, possess a rare skill. They can step away from people, situations, and even dreams without letting bitterness take root. This doesn't mean they're immune to pain, or that they pretend nothing happened. It means they've learned the fine art of knowing what to keep and what to release. When something turns toxic or begins to collapse, They don't waste energy trying to glue it back together. They quietly remove themselves and leave the emotional baggage behind. Picture a man betrayed by someone he trusted deeply. Most would replay the betrayal in their mind, dissect every word, and spiral into anger or numbness. A Sigma male sees the truth for what it is, accepts it, and lets it go, not because he's heartless, but because he knows holding on to pain only feeds it. You see this in subtle, everyday ways. In the workplace, if someone undermines him, he won't retaliate with gossip or petty schemes. He recalibrates and moves forward. In a relationship, if trust is beyond repair, he won't stick around to win some invisible argument. He'll walk out with his peace intact. That kind of detachment isn't coldness. It's emotional maturity. It's the recognition that bitterness doesn't heal wounds. It deepens them. Walking away without resentment demands inner discipline. It takes strength to leave without demanding closure or an apology. That's what makes Sigma males powerful. They know how to guard their inner peace without building emotional walls. They can feel pain without becoming it. While others remain trapped in the wreckage, they move on, clear-headed, grounded, and untouched by the chaos. That's not weakness. That's spiritual self-control. That's leaving clean. Number 6. A mind that questions everything, even itself. Some people question the world because it's easy to direct blame outward. Sigma males take on the harder challenge. They question themselves, and not just when things go wrong. They do it constantly. This kind of mind is rare. It doesn't just ask, "Why is the world like this?" It asks, "Why do I want what I want? Is this belief truly mine? Or did I absorb it from someone else? Is my silence a sign of strength? Or is it fear wearing a mask?" Most people run from these questions because they force you to sit alone with your own thoughts, without the comfort of noise or distraction. Sigma males welcome that silence because that's where their real work happens. In daily life, it shows up in subtle ways. If they're praised, they don't just bask in the compliments. They pause to ask themselves if they truly earned it. If they're criticized, they don't rush to defend. They first check if there's truth in the words. This habit of self-inquiry makes them nearly impossible to manipulate. They've already tested and dismantled their own ego long before anyone else tries to. This kind of mind is a gift, but it's not easy to carry. It invites doubt and discomfort. Yet it also brings depth and clarity. While the world clings to certainty, Sigma males live in the space of questions. And in those questions, they find a strength that can't be taught. It's the kind of strength that only comes from facing yourself without flinching. Number 7. The fire to build a kingdom in silence. Some people can't stop talking about their dreams. They share every step, every plan, every little win. Sigma males? They keep their heads down and build. While others race to be noticed, they stay in the shadows, stacking bricks one careful move at a time. They don't wait for permission. They don't need applause to keep going. Their drive is fueled by something deeper than recognition. It's purpose. And once that fire is lit, it burns steady. Think of a craftsman working late into the night in his garage. No audience, no spotlight, just focus, just work. People may forget he's even there until one day he opens the door and the result leaves everyone stunned. That's how Sigma males move. They know noise fades, but results remain. They focus on building strong foundations because they understand that anything rushed will eventually break. Even in conversation, they keep their big moves to themselves. By the time you hear about it, It's already complete. And when their work finally surfaces, it doesn't just impress, it humbles. Their divine gift isn't only discipline, it's patience. It's the ability to see the long game while everyone else is scrambling for quick wins. And when the world wonders how they keep winning without the theatrics, the answer is simple. Their fire doesn't rely on outside fuel. It's lit from within. And once it burns, it builds empires in silence. Number 8. A compass that always points inward. Most people navigate life by following the world's cues, trends, popular advice, social approval. Sigma males move in a different direction. Their compass doesn't sway with public opinion or peer pressure. It's rooted deep inside. This doesn't mean they believe they have all the answers. It means they're not afraid to sit with the questions that matter. Questions like, what do I truly want? What still matters when no one's watching? Who am I when there's no one to impress? That's where their strength is born. They've earned their clarity through solitude, quiet failures, and deep reflection. At work, when everyone's chasing the boss's approval, they're focused on doing what's right. In a group, when others bend their beliefs for acceptance, they stand firm, even if it costs them something. They were never handed popularity, but they were given something far more valuable: purpose. While the world lives for applause, they live for alignment. They don't get lost in the noise because they know exactly who they are. And when the pressure rises, they stay centered, not because they have every answer, but because they trust the only compass that has never failed them, the one inside. Number 9. Unbreakable self-respect. Some mistake arrogance for confidence. Sigma males carry neither. What they have is something quieter and far more powerful. A form of self-respect that doesn't need to announce itself or dominate a room. It's a self-respect that cannot be broken. And for them, it's not an act or a mask they put on for the world to see. It's woven into the very fabric of who they are. They don't see themselves as above anyone else, yet they refuse to believe they are worth less than anyone, no matter how hard life tries to convince them otherwise. That's the distinction. When rejection comes, it doesn't shake them. Not because they enjoy being turned away, but because they've never allowed their worth to be tied to other people's approval. Their value exists before the world reacts, before someone praises or dismisses them. Whether a person claps for them or walks away entirely, it doesn't rewrite the truth of who they are. You can see it clearly in how they respond to setbacks. A job opportunity slips away. A friendship fades. A partner chooses another path. Most people would spiral into doubt or scramble to find someone to heal the sting. Sigma males take a different route. They pause, they process, and they move forward. They don't go chasing after explanations or beg for closure, because they know losing something doesn't mean they've lost themselves. Even in conflict, they hold their line. They won't tolerate disrespect, yet they won't erupt just to prove a point. If they need to walk away, they do it. Not because they're avoiding the fight, but because staying would mean lowering their standards. And that's something they will never do. This form of self-respect doesn't roar or demand the spotlight. It's quiet, steady, and unshakable. The kind that allows a man to stand alone with clarity in his mind and strength in his heart, even when the world around him is crumbling. God didn't gift them arrogance. He gave them a backbone forged in silence, failure, resilience, and an unflinching honesty with themselves. That's why they're so difficult to break. Their self-respect isn't based on how well things are going. It's rooted in how faithfully they've stayed true to themselves. And that kind of foundation can't be destroyed, can't be faked. It has to be built, piece by piece, moment by moment. Number 10. The pain threshold of a warrior. Some men are molded by comfort. Sigma males are molded by pressure. Life never went easy on them. In fact, it was never meant to. What they received instead was pain, real pain. The kind that shakes you at the core and refuses to let you walk away unchanged. But here's the part people often miss. That pain didn't break them. It trained them. Their threshold for pain is far beyond what most can comprehend. It's not just about being able to take a hit. It's about holding themselves together when every part of them wants to fall apart. They know the ache of being misunderstood, left out, or betrayed. They felt the mental strain of overthinking and living in a mind that never stops. And they've fought the spiritual battle between staying true to themselves and bending to a world that demands conformity. Many people crack under that weight. Sigma males adapt. They don't crumble under pressure. They build in it. Picture someone who doesn't just bounce back from loss, but becomes sharper and stronger because of it. A man who takes disappointment and uses it to refine his vision. That's the difference. They don't expect fairness from life. They expect challenge. And yet they show up anyway. They keep going. This isn't about pretending to be tough or hiding emotions. It's about feeling the pain in full and still moving forward. That's the heart of a warrior. God didn't make their path smooth. He made their shoulders strong. Some men aren't designed for an easy road. They're built to carry more, to feel deeply, to endure silently, and to stand tall regardless. The Sigma male doesn't boast about what he's endured. He just keeps walking, stronger, sharper, quieter, a living testament to every scar that tried and failed to break him. Number 11. A mind that doesn't just think, but builds worlds. There's a clear gap between a person who thinks and a person who creates from thought. Sigma males belong to the latter. Their minds aren't content to wander aimlessly. They work relentlessly, and with a depth that often remains hidden from others. They don't daydream as a way to escape reality. They use imagination as a set of blueprints. While most people try to adapt to systems that already exist, Sigma males are busy designing something entirely new. They don't just ask how things work. They wonder how they could work better. And then they figure out how to make it happen. You can spot this in how they handle even the simplest tasks. While others follow a routine, they adjust it. When people say, "This is just how it's done," the Sigma male asks, "Why?" And then, what if it could be done differently? It might be a broken system at work that no one challenges. He'll challenge it. A complex project others avoid. He'll break it down and rebuild it. Whether in business, art, technology, or everyday life, he sees patterns others miss. What makes this powerful is that it isn't driven by ego, but by curiosity and clarity. He isn't showing off. He's simply wired to create, to refine, to deepen. And much of this happens in silence, without anyone knowing what he's been building until the finished product arrives, complete and impactful. God didn't just give Sigma males intelligence. He gave them the kind of mind that constructs what has never existed. Their ideas are not just thoughts. They're the seeds of revolutions, quietly waiting for the right moment to take root. Number 12. Spiritual independence. For most people, spirituality is something inherited, a set path, a list of rules, a road paved long before they walk it. But Sigma males don't travel those pre-laid roads. Their spiritual journey isn't borrowed. It's built. This isn't about rebellion. It's simply the way their soul operates. They ask the questions others fear to ask, not to stir trouble, but because blind belief has never been enough. They crave understanding, not just obedience. They want truth, even if it costs them comfort. And if that means stepping away from tradition, so be it. Sigma males have an unshakable need to create their own meaning. They don't cling to the familiar for its own sake. They can sit in the discomfort of doubt, walk through seasons of uncertainty, and wait patiently in the silence until something real arrives. That's why, when their faith finally takes form, it's solid as bedrock, not built from hand-me-down beliefs, but forged through solitude, struggle, and reflection. You may not hear them quote verses or recite prayers, but you'll see their faith in how they live, in the way they remain grounded in chaos, calm under pressure, and unwavering in their standards. Their connection to something higher isn't loud or showy. It's rooted. God gave them a faith that doesn't fit neatly in boxes. It's earned, uncopyable, and it stands even when old answers crumble. What if the very traits that make you feel misunderstood are the rarest gifts you have? The truth is, being a Sigma male isn't easy. It's not loud or glamorous. It doesn't come with constant applause, but it comes with something infinitely more powerful, a way of being that most will never understand. You weren't made to blend in. You weren't meant to follow the crowd's path. God gave you a compass that points inward, eyes that see beneath the surface, and a mind that rejects shallow answers. You have the strength to stand alone, not because you're cold, but because your soul demands depth. You might be the one who questions what everyone else accepts without a second thought. You might feel deeply, yet reveal almost nothing. And when life hits you hard, you don't crumble. You absorb it, you reflect on it, and you rebuild, all in silence. That's not weakness. That's rare power. So if you ever feel out of place, remember, you're not lost. You're just walking a road that wasn't designed for the masses. Your silence carries weight. Your focus moves mountains. Your very presence shifts the atmosphere, often before anyone even realizes it's happening. Stay loyal to that. Don't dilute yourself just to be understood. The world might never fully recognize what you carry inside, but God didn't put it there by accident. You are rare. You are meant to be. And if you keep walking with purpose, you won't just survive. You'll reshape the world, quietly, steadily, and powerfully, in your own way. So keep moving forward, even when no one's watching. Because sometimes the loudest revolutions begin in silence. If this message struck something deep in you, like, share, and subscribe to Epic Persona. This is where we speak to the men who know their worth without needing to prove it. Here's a question for you. When was the last time your silence spoke louder than your words?